Hello, I'm still Leonid Lozachev, and I'm recording that podcast directly on Halloween Day. That is Friday, October 31st. That's why I decided to talk about something especially scary. I'm not too much into skeletons and such things, but I will talk about something that's really scary in the business area, and this is SAP Ariba and why I hate it. Okay, clients use those payment systems more and more. We've had a lot of experience with these because we've got quite a number of clients, and these systems include Wise, Revolut, Bill.com, and dozens of others. With all those systems, the approach is typically simple. It's free for the users, that is, suppliers just create an account, a free account in the system. They provide their company data and their bank account credentials, and this is it. Then you've set up the payments and forget about it. And generally they work quite well. But there is a scary exception, and this exception, right, is SAP Ariba, or simply Ariba. They position themselves as more of an auction playground. Honestly, we've been forced to use it for more than 20 years, and we've never got any decent leads from Ariba. Apart from that, I would say that it's one of the clumsiest and most randomly designed pieces of software I've ever worked with. Overall, whatever data I need to enter Reddit, I can hardly find it. The user interface is completely randomized, and it always takes a lot of time to do the most simple thing. Overall, it produces a feel, and I'm not talking about design, it produces a feel of ancient ERP software from the 20th century. But this is not scary. This is not the eerie part of it. The eerie part of it is that it's the only payment system that charges suppliers, and it charges a lot. But here we're talking not about just a tiny percentage. They also charge a hefty yearly membership or subscription fee. And as far as my company has been privileged to be transferred to the gold status, we've paid them $2,250. Once again, it's more than $2,000 just for the privilege of being paid for our services provided to the clients. I will repeat, we have not selected this platform. Clients ask you to subscribe to whatever platform they use, and you just comply with this request. Second, it's amazing. I'm absolutely flabbergasted by the whole thought that you are being charged for the privilege of being paid for your services. Moreover, Ariba doesn't charge you a percentage. Well, they do, but this is on top of the subscription. But the subscription fee and tier are based not on the total amount transacted throughout the year, but on the so-called number of documents. And these documents are purchase orders placed by the client and invoices you send them according to these purchase orders. That is, as a supplier, we have zero control over the number of these documents, period. We're absolutely helpless, and then Ariba just figures out how much they want to charge us for the next year. And in order to get to this gold tier, meaning we have to pay in gold to keep it, we need to transact just more than 100 documents, overall purchase orders and invoices taken together. And that's not a lot. It means just 8 purchase orders a month and 1 invoice, nothing more. And then you are done, and you are paying $2,250, period. In order to present the whole ugly picture, Let me give you an example. My company, Logrus IT, has two clients paying us through Ariba. And we're forced to do it, it's just a relationship we have to keep. And these are important clients. Overall, this amounts to, first, $139,000 in yearly revenue. Second, 106 invoices sent throughout the year. Finally, 20 payments received through Ariba throughout the year. Well, $139,000 doesn't seem like a tiny amount, so what's the whole fuss is about? And I'll tell you. Let's not forget that they charge us $2,250 just for the privilege of being there, and also 0.15% of each amount. Overall, if you divide the whole amount we pay to Ariba by the amount we get from the clients, it's 1.77%, almost 2%, which doesn't seem like a lot when you're shopping and buying bread or milk, or even a car, but think about it the other way. Service companies typically have their net profitability between 4 and 8%. That's it. 10% means you are very, very lucky and very, very efficient for most of the service companies in the industry. So when Ariba charges us 2%, it means that we're losing between 25 and 40% of the total net profit. And that's a lot. As platform is absolutely useless for us, besides just keeping those relationships with our esteemed clients. And there is another eerie, sinister fact. Once again, this fee does not depend on the total amount paid throughout the year. Actually, it only depends on the number of the documents that you have absolutely no influence on. It's all directed by clients. People who are especially keen on watching podcasts may have noticed when I showed you the screenshot from the Ariba website with the fee structure, they may have noticed that there is a clause, and theoretically, while under $250,000 a year, we may qualify for the so-called bronze tier, which is a mere $50 a year. The problem is, it's a lie. I asked the question, I sent the email directly to Ariba support. I've got a detailed reply, and I have it for my records. And that's what it basically says. It says that they calculate the overall amount transactions by adding all purchase orders and all invoices, which already makes it twice the amount because you can only invoice against purchase orders. So it's twice the amount already, plus the most scary part is as follows. It's not just the regular purchase orders that you invoice. It's also they're adding all blanket purchase orders, which are very typical for large corporations. And in the most circumstances, these are large amounts that are never invoiced in full. But Ariba just totals all of them. Anything to charge us more. Everything to get their pound of flesh. Moreover, unlike the Shakespearean merchant of Venice, they do not want £1. They'd rather settle for more than 2,000. And this is scary. The same invoicing and payment functionality is available on a number of other systems, and they are all free for suppliers. So it would be very logical if clients like SAP Ariba so much so that they pay all the fees relevant to their transactions and to the whole workflow. Moreover, that way, if they paid the whole fees, they would see how much they're paying in total, how much this financial stream actually costs. Just imagine a large transnational corporation With 100 vendors set up on Ariba, which is a very reasonable figure for a big company, each of them in the gold tier, and it means that SAP Ariba charges all these vendors together $250,000. That is a staggering cost. I can bet that most big transnational companies can get a better deal if they are paying this money, and they would be horrified if they saw the total amount charged to their suppliers for the privilege of being paid through the Ariba platform. In my view, the current policy from Ariba is nothing else but shameless extortion. I feel it. I would be happy if this message got across to all our esteemed clients and they either changed their payment platform provider or influenced a long overdue change in their policies. As for us, we have no other option but to start charging the so-called Ariba Surcharge of between 2 and 3% that offsets the amount of money we lose to Ariba for getting those payments. And I would seriously appreciate if all of you guys spread the message and all other sufferers who are being charged by Ariba for getting paid would also add a similar surcharge or at least notify their clients of this conundrum and of this platform policy, which is absolutely contrary to anything any other payment platform does. And I sincerely hope that all of you, our esteemed clients and our colleagues in the service industry, understand it. And that's why I'm saying, currently it's a very expensive mess. I hate SAP Ariba. Happy Halloween!